Welcome to the chemistry class, my dear students. Today, our topic of discussion is colligative properties. So, first, we should know the meaning of colligative properties. The properties which only depends upon the number of particles of the solute or molecules or ions, which only depends upon the amount of solute, or I should say number of moles of solute dissolved in a particular solvent, or which do not depend upon the nature of solute. Either it is glucose, urea, it does not depend upon it. It only depends upon the number of moles of a particular solute. So that is your colligative property. Fine. We have to discuss 4 colligative properties. The first one is your relative lowering of vapor pressure. You have idea about it because in Raoult's law we have discussed it. Okay. Second is your osmotic or osmosis, osmotic pressure. Third is elevation in boiling point. Fourth is your depression in freezing point. We will discuss one by one. First, in this class, I am going to start with the relative lowering of vapor pressure. It is, these are the important colligative properties which we have to discuss. Okay. And what are colligative properties? These are the properties which only depends upon the number of moles of solute. So first I am going to start with relative lowering of vapor pressure. First colligative property I am going to start with is your relative lowering of vapor pressure. So relative lowering of vapor pressure. Dear students, the property which is already discussed under Raoult's law for solutions of solids in liquids. In that particular case, if our solute is non-volatile in nature, when that solute is dissolved in a solvent, the vapor pressure of the solution is lower than that of particular pure solvent. We have already discussed, if you remember in the last lecture, phospho is equals to XB. We have already discussed. So, this is your relative lowering of vapor pressure. Okay? How can you say that it is a colligative property? Because what is this? This is mole fraction of solute. It can be written as number of moles of solute over total number of all the components present in a solution. And generally in this chapter up to 12th level, we are taking into consideration the binary solution, which is made up of only 2 components. One is solute and one is solvent. Okay. So we can also write the number of moles of solute is weight of solute over molar mass of solute divided by what? It is weight of solvent over molar mass of solvent plus weight of solute over molar mass of solute. Dear, in case of dilute solutions, this amount is almost negligible because it is having a very less amount of solute. So we can neglect it. So for that, your relative lowering of vapor pressure should be equals to what? This term, or I can also write it as weight of solute over mass of solvent, mass of solute into what? Weight of solvent. I'm taking this term to the here into molar mass of solvent. So, as you can see that this properties depends upon the number of moles of a particular component and do not depends upon the nature of solute or solvent. That's why it is considering as a colligative property. I'm writing it as CP. Okay, not cost wise. It is colligative property. Why it is colligative property? Because it only depends upon the masses or weight or number of moles. It is not depending upon the nature of the solute or solvent. I hope it is clear to you. Is there any doubt? Please let me know. In second colligative property, that is your osmotic pressure. First, we should understand the terms osmosis and diffusion. Okay. So, my dear students, suppose I am taking a concentrated solution of copper sulfate, which is deep blue in color. Okay. It is placed in a beaker and water is added slowly along the walls of the beaker without much disturbing the concentrated copper sulfate solution. So, you will see when water is added very slowly, the two layers are formed. Now, suppose I am taking this beaker and this beaker, copper sulfate is present. I am adding water to it very slowly. Okay. So, along the walls of this beaker, you will see there are two layers in the starting. This is your solute and here I am adding my solvent, that is water. In the starting, I am not adding it in a haphazard manner. I am adding it very slowly. But when you leave this solution for some time, you will see a blue color solution that is uniformly blue in color. Okay, homogeneous solution you will see it is blue in color. Okay, copper sulfate pentahydrate solution will form. Its color is uniform. So what will happen? Here, the particles of solute and solvent are mixed to each other. So that spontaneous mixing of particles of the solute and the solvent to form the homogeneous solution is your diffusion. Or I will say the random movement of particles from higher concentration to lower concentration in any direction. That is your diffusion. Okay. Now, if I am performing the experiment in a different manner, slightly different manner, what I am going to do is, I am dividing the beaker in two compartments by putting one membrane, which is semi-permeable membrane. Permeable means permission. Semi means half, which means this membrane is allowing only solvent molecules to come, but do not allow the solute molecules to pass through them. Okay? So this is restricted to the movements of solute. Suppose this is any gate. Suppose this is any passage or gate, and I am allowing only, suppose this is any passage, and I am allowing only solvent molecules can pass through it. But whenever the solute will come, this door closes and it restricts the movement of solute molecules. So that membrane is semi-permeable membrane. Now, in the same experiment, suppose what I am doing, I am taking one beaker. This is your semi-permeable membrane, suppose. So here it is your solvent, that is water in this case. And here it is your solute, that is copper sulfate in this particular case. Okay. So solvent can move here and there, but solute cannot move. So what is going? Solvent will move from where to where? Here the concentration of water is more. It is moving from its higher concentration to its lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Okay, so that process is your osmosis. So my dear, what is the definition of osmosis? The net spontaneous flow of solvent molecules. My dear, you will find so many definitions of osmosis in different books. But remember this, it is easy. The net, remember, spontaneous flow of I am telling it in terms of solvent. You will find definition of osmosis in solute terms also. Solvent molecules from, this word is very important, its, which means its concentration, from its higher concentration to lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Okay. When will the flow of water will stop? Until the equilibrium is established. So kindly just see this definition once. Net spontaneous flow of solvent molecules. See, if you forget to write it this term, it means concentrated solution to dilute solution. No. In terms of solvent, it is from dilute solution to concentrated solution. Because if you are writing in terms of solute, then this definition is different. So kindly understand it and then cram it. Do cramming with understanding. Okay? So it is the net spontaneous flow of solvent molecules from its higher concentration to its lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. Okay. Now, I'm again giving you one more example of eggs. Okay. Take 2 eggs. Remove the outer shells of the eggs by dissolving them in HCl. Okay, fine. Take 2 eggs. Remove their outer shell with the help of putting them in HCl. Now, take 2 eggs, put one in water and another egg in sodium chloride solution. In first case, you will see the first egg which you have put in water, it swells up. And another egg which you are putting in NaCl, it shrinks. Or the very common example is from your kitchen is your raisins. When we are putting the raisins in water, it swells up. And when we are putting the raisins in sunlight or in NaCl, the grapes gets shrink. Okay. So when any membrane permits these solvent molecules to come inside, then it is your endosmosis. Endo gives sound of under. Endosmosis. And when the molecule is coming out from a particular cell or anything, then it is your exosmosis. Exo gives the sound of exit. Okay? So in that case, the things will get shrink, and in endosmosis, the grapes or the raisins or the eggs get swelled up. Okay, because semi-permeable membrane in this case is allowing to solvent molecules to come inside. Fine, it is. Now comes to your osmotic pressure. I hope these two terms are clear to you: osmosis, diffusion, exosmosis, endosmosis. Now this semi-permeable can be natural or artificial in nature. Natural is your, like from vegetable membranes, animal membranes. See the first layer of onion. Very, very, very fine layer that is acting as semi-permeable membrane. Okay, my dear students, biology student will perform the practical based on the same. You have one practical in bio subject also based on the same topic. An artificial semi-permeable membrane is your like copper ferrocyanide, silicates of iron or cobalt. Okay, they are artificial. Is there any doubt till now? Please let me know. Otherwise, I will continue with the osmotic pressure. So, osmotic pressure is the minimum excess pressure that must be applied on the solution side to prevent the entry of solvent molecules into the solution. The minimum excess pressure that must be applied to prevent the entry of solvent molecules through a semi-permeable membrane. Okay? Where we have to apply on this solution, so that the solvent molecules will not move. Fine, it is. And now another term, reverse osmosis. There you are using RO purifiers at your home. So it is based on the principle of reverse osmosis. That is the opposite of osmosis. That is RO, which means reverse osmosis. And the important application of reverse osmosis is desalination of seawater to remove the salts from the sea water. Okay, what we are doing, that is on applying pressure greater than the osmotic pressure. If we are applying the pressure greater than osmotic pressure, then pure water can flow through a semi-permeable membrane, and your salts will get removed from that sea water. Okay, so now our next concern is that how can you say that a osmotic pressure is a colligative property. C, osmotic pressure represented by pi is directly proportional to the C, and it is also directly proportional to the T, temperature, and C, concentration. So when we are combining this and remove this constant of proportionality, it comes out to be this, where R is your gas constant or solution constant here, and its value is 8.314 in terms of joule per Kelvin mole. Okay, remember this, 8.314 joule per Kelvin per mole. What is C? It is concentration. What is T? Temperature. What is pi? Pi is your osmotic pressure. Now, how can you say that it is colligative property? C, we can write how osmotic pressure, pi is your colligative property. Pi is equal to CRT. Okay. And C can be N by V. Concentration is equal to number of moles or molarity into R into T. What is number of moles? It is also given mass over molar mass into RT. See, as this osmotic pressure depends upon the number of moles of solute, so that's why you can say that it is also your colligative property. Fine. And if I am taking your volume in liters, or it is 1 liter, and N is the number of moles of solute, then you can also write this term also is equal to nRT. It depends on the question. Whatever which thing is given to you, you can solve the question based on the same. Okay. Now, isotonic solution. Wherever the word iso is given to you, iso means same. So such solution which have the same osmotic pressure at the same temperature is known as your isotonic solution. It is very important concept according to biology. Okay? Especially when any injection is given to human beings or any other organism, then this concept is very important. Okay? So, it is a colligative property. Is there any doubt? Please let me know. Is there any doubt? Please let me know. Or if it is clear, give me thumbs up. Otherwise, I am going to solve an example based on the same. Give me thumbs up fast. Okay, okay, dear. Okay. So, take out your notebooks and write down one question of NCERT. So, our question is, simple question it is. Dear, in today's lecture, we have discussed two colligative properties, relative lowering of vapor pressure and osmotic pressure. So question is, 200 cubic centimeter of an aqueous solution of a protein contains 1.26 gram of protein. Any sample whose volume is this, it contains mass of solute is 1.26 gram. It is given to you. Any protein sample which contains this much amount of protein in it. The osmotic pressure at 300 Kelvin, temperature is 300 Kelvin. The osmotic pressure at this temperature is how much? 2.57 into 10 raised to power minus 3 bar. 2.57 into 10 raised to power minus 3 bar. My dear, you have to calculate the molar mass of the protein. You have to calculate what is the molar mass of that protein. First, kindly go through the question, what is given to us, and think which formula can be used. It is very clear. We have just discussed. Volume of solution is how much? 200 cubic centimeter. My dear, convert it into liter. It will be 0.200 liter. And remember, your pressure is in bar. So here we have to use R should be 0.0831 because pressure is in bar. So R can be used as 0.083 liter bar per Kelvin per mole. R has different values. Okay. And you know pi V is equal to nRT. Now what is N? N is given mass over molar mass. Given mass is 1.26. R is 0.0831. T is 300 Kelvin. And V is 0.200. And pi is how much? 2.57 into 10 raised to power minus 3. Dear, only you have to calculate this. So I am taking this term here. It will be 0.200 into 2.57 into 10 raised to power minus 3. Solve it. Solve it fast and tell me the answer. Fast, I am waiting. Solve it. It will be 61039 gram per mole. Simple question it is. Till now, is there any doubt? Please let me know. Or if it is clear, give me thumbs up fast. So dear, okay. In today's class, we have discussed the colligative properties. Colligative properties are those properties which only depends upon the number of moles of solute and which is independent of nature of the solute. There are total of important 4 colligative properties: relative lowering of vapor pressure, osmotic pressure, elevation in boiling point, and depression in freezing point. These last 2 properties I will discuss in the next class. So relative lowering of vapor pressure, that is PO, is directly proportional to the molar mass of solute. So it is a colligative property, is directly proportional to the mole fraction, And osmotic pressure is also a colligative property because pi is equal to CRT, which means it also depends upon the molar mass of the solute. Okay, dear? Kindly do practice of numericals of NCERT based on the same. See you in the next class.